Yes, your boy Crypto Blood, and welcome to another Kicking It session. Today I've got Ellie Fabre. She's in Canada. This is like the third Canadian guest in a row. This is weird. We're going to be talking to her today about health, wealth, all that good stuff. She's a holistic health coach, and we need that more than ever in these times. So I'm glad to have her on. She's actually one of my YouTube members. Girlfriend, wife, I don't know, but nice to have you on, Ellie. Thank you for joining me today.
Well, thank you so much for having me. This is super exciting, and I'm happy to be sharing some time with you today.
Yeah, so tell us a little bit about yourself. I mean, you've got an interesting story. I mean, you had a stroke at 36 years old.
Mm-hmm.
That is crazy. Like, kind of give us your path to where you are today as a holistic health coach.
Let me tell you a little bit about me. I was born and raised in the Dominican Republic, so I'm a tropical import, a mango, a pineapple, tropical fruit, if you may. I moved to Canada approximately 18 years ago.
Okay.
I've lived pretty much all over Canada. I lived in Montreal for a really long time. I lived in Alberta. When I had the stroke, I was working in a remote oil camp in Alberta. And it happened in the middle of the night. It was very strange. I had sharp pain in my leg. I just woke up. They took me to the doctor. They didn't really see the stroke for what it was. So they shipped me all the way to Montreal. It was a very confusing time of my life. And then...
Were you like a healthy person at that point, or considered a healthy person, or?
I was healthy-ish. I used to go to the gym and stuff, but I really didn't eat well. I didn't drink water. I was drinking a lot of soda and skipping meals and, normal stuff.
Yeah, normal stuff, right.
The thing is that when you're in your 30s, you think you're invincible. You don't think anything is ever going to happen to you. And then it just hits you like a train, like, oh my God, what am I going to do now? So after this happened, I had a walking cane for a while. I was limping. I had all kinds of neurological symptoms, and I tried. I saw many specialists, and I didn't really see any serious improvement until I took matters into my own hands. I started seeing naturopaths and different specialists and nutritionists and stuff, to a point when I, like, little by little, it was a long trip. It took me a good 6 years. It was 6 years ago now. Little by little, I started improving. And then I said, this is so awesome. I see so much improvement in myself that I want to share this with the world. So I have made it my mission to share it with people, because I have great faith in food, what food can do for you. It's the best investment that anyone can make, because if you like accounting a little bit, it's like you have a nutritional accrual in your system. You have it in your organs, you have it in your bones, and it's the best gift you can give yourself. Pretty much any of the human ailments can be managed or improved with proper nutrition.
Yeah, no, I agree. I started kind of looking into that myself, my wife and I, maybe about 2 years ago. We already didn't really eat too much meat, but, I saw that documentary on Netflix called What the Health. I don't know if you ever heard of that one. Oh, yeah, it's crazy. So it just kind of went over eating meat and chicken and all that stuff. It's just kind of like not good for you. And so we went pescatarian. We started only eating fish, vegetables, of course, fresh vegetables. That's the thing. Like in my culture, we eat vegetables, but they're all boiled down to a point where there's no nutrients left.
Absolutely.
There's no nutrients left. So kind of tell us, I've got your site here, elliefabre.com. If you guys want to check her out, definitely get over there and look into some of the services that she offers. But what would you go through? I mean, one thing I want to ask you is, are you primarily focused on women, or is this something that you teach to all people? all
Mm,
individuals?
my target market per se is women because it's what I know. I base it on my studies and my own journey, but I can
Gotcha.
help anyone. I have clients anywhere from teens that are 16 years old to women that are 70 or men. It could be anything because my program was so comprehensive that
Mm-hmm.
we were prepared to go through all life stages because as you age your body needs different things. It's not the same if you're a teenager, the amount of food
Right.
or protein that you need that if you're 95 years old per se.
Right.
But I can help men too with anything because at the end of the day the human body is the same, the organs are the same.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty general.
So what is your approach to this? Like, do you tell people not to eat meat? Do you, or
No,
how? Okay.
I am a very flexible health coach.
Okay.
Whatever works for you, because we have to be aware that for everyone, their metabolism is different. Your kidneys and my kidneys are not the same. Your liver and my liver are not the same. So what works for you might not be what works for me. Like there are people that are always low in iron and they might need either iron supplementation or eating meat, red meat, like even if it's one time a week. Everything in moderation. One thing that we don't realize in North America is that we might eat actually portions of meat that are way too big. In theory, what you need is half of your palm. That's the right portion of whichever protein you're having, like either fish or meat or whatever, right? Um, Another thing about protein that people sometimes don't realize, if you don't want to have meat 5 times a week, if you combine rice and let's say lentils or beans, you have a complete protein. So you don't really need meat
Yeah.
that big.
Exactly. Do you,
There's so
now
many
do you,
options out
do you
there.
now do you eat meat?
I was pescatarian for about 3 years, and I've been vegetarian 3 times throughout my life. But I always go back to eating meat because I
Okay.
become very anemic.
Gotcha.
It just works for my body. I eat it in
Hmm.
moderation. I try to get organic meat whenever possible, wild game, which is available where I live right now, and just play it by ear.
Hmm. Hmm. Okay, so kind of tell us about your program that you offer your clients. How do you walk them through? Kind of give us a step by step on how you would walk a person through your program. What type of person comes to you? Is it a person that has had serious issues like you in the past, or like a person that just wants to lose weight, or like what? Tell us what type of person normally comes to you for help.
Hmm. It's usually women with
Okay.
some sort of chronic ailment. I have had all kinds of clients. I have had clients that wanted to get pregnant,
Mm,
people that wanted to lose weight. It's usually people that have something persistent that they haven't been able to manage through other therapies. And they're exploring different alternatives. And they realize after a few weeks, like, oh my God, I feel so good. I didn't know this was possible. Well, how come nobody told me this before?
I mean, kind of give us a walkthrough of how you would help a person. Do you change your
Okay,
diet
so
right off
how?
the?
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So usually the beginning, it's like a 1 hour, 1 hour and a half, either virtual or in-person meeting to fill out like a health assessment, and I take a look at people. How is their hair looking? How is their skin looking? How are their nails looking? I take into consideration their eating habits, their sleep habits. How is the stress in their life? Because plays a big part on anyone's health. I ask about their childhood history, what kind of illnesses they had, if they have persistent infections, to get like an overall view, like a 360 approach of what's going on with them. And then we'll set certain goals that they want to work on. For example, for some people, the most crucial at a certain point might be thyroid health, or they want to work on their stress or how their skin is looking. It varies person per person.
Gotcha, gotcha. So, as far as what's going on in the world right now, we have this coronavirus thing going around, and just viruses and bacterial infections in general. Do you see um, what approaches and what suggestions would you give to people to help them have a better and stronger immune system when it comes to anything? It doesn't have to be coronavirus. It can be any type of influenza or whatnot, do you see those? Do you see a diet, a healthy diet, helping in those manners?
Of course, because the thing is, think as your body as a car transmission fluid in fuel. Is it going to run? No, it's absolutely the same for the human body. For example, to give you an example, magnesium is involved in 300 different processes in the body. It's just one of the very many minerals that we need to function properly. There's so many things that come into play for the immune system and that often they're often neglected. For example, you have sleep. Sleep is so crucial because we repair ourselves while we sleep. Taking care of your sleep, managing your sleep. Right now, we're all a little bit anxious and like out of our normal routine. So be mindful of your sleep, like reduce the blue light exposure. If you have a blue light filter or something like that, reduce the time you're in front of screens if possible. If you have access to anything relaxing like lavender or chamomile, have a little tea before going to bed. Things like that. So sleep is one of them. Number two would be vitamin D. Vitamin D is so important for the immune system. It has a lot to do also with the proclivity to develop tooth decay and things like that. And according to many medical studies, most North Americans are very, very low on vitamin D. Either because they're working indoors, because they don't exercise outside, because we wear too much clothing because it's winter. Um, Vitamin D, you can get it from the sun, of course. But the thing is that people don't realize that you need to expose your face, your arms, and your legs at least 15 minutes to sunshine. Um, and sometimes that's not possible. So supplementing a little bit with vitamin D would be definitely helpful. And another thing that is super important for the immune system is protein intake. Proteins will make your cells strong, the membranes around your cells strong, and that is super important for immunity. Um, the amount of protein that a human needs depends on their exercise levels, their age, and many other factors. But to give you a ballpark, women need around 40 to 70 grams of protein per day. For men, it's probably around, say, 60 to 90 grams per day, depending. It would have to be calculated, but it's to give you an idea. So be mindful of your protein intake. Vitamin C is one that is super popular as well. And vitamin C, it's a water soluble vitamin, which means it does not store in the body. You will dispose of it because it's
Mm-hmm.
water soluble, right? So it's
Mm-hmm.
something that you have to be constantly eating and
Mm-hmm.
drinking and making sure that you have vitamin C available. You can get it from berries, from red peppers, or if you want a supplement, that's also another option. What else is good for immunity? I don't know. Things like garlic, ginger. There are so many
Mm-hmm.
possibilities.
Yeah, my wife she's always putting garlic in our food. She
I
dices it
love
up.
it. I love garlic.
Yeah.
We're probably vampire free in this house because of so much
Right.
garlic.
Right. So, as far as vegetables, like, do you cook them or do you eat them raw? What is your uh
My favorites,
suggestion on that?
I usually eat them raw whenever possible, or you can steam them for about 5 minutes so you don't kill all the goodness. Another thing super important to keep in mind right now, if you don't have access to fresh vegetables because they might not be available at the store, you can get them frozen. That's the second best because they freeze them so quickly that most of the nutrients are kept in the vegetables.
Mm.
Um, Canned would be the third option, not my favorite. But if that's all you can get, it might not be as high in vitamins, but you're still getting fiber and some of the good things that come with vegetables.
So, are you following this whole coronavirus, COVID-19 thing? What's your take on that situation?
Hmm, I don't know. It's been hard for me. Like I have good times and bad times throughout the day. My phone is off since yesterday because I honestly couldn't cope with the constant bombardment and barrage of news and people sending me stuff on WhatsApp and what do you think of this and what do you think of that.
Wow.
Um, I'm taking a break for
A
now.
break. Yeah. Yeah.
One thing that is super important that I found that it's quite funny. It's something that we never think about. Have you ever heard of the nocebo effect?
No, no. What's
Okay,
that?
so the nocebo effect is the ugly sister of the placebo effect. You know, the placebo effect
I
is
know
that,
about the placebo, right?
okay, so the nocebo is the ugly sister. It's quite the opposite. It has happened in, they have done it under research conditions that they have given people, let's say, sugar pills, and they are expecting they're going to die from taking these pills. And they get really sick to the point they have to be reanimated. So I can send you a link if you want to read more about it.
Wow, the
So
power of the mind, right?
exactly. So right now, what I'm finding that is really helpful, it's taking news breaks. Like just watch the news when you feel you can handle it. Like assign yourself times during the day when you feel you can watch the news. Don't be constantly scrolling and looking, and because there will always be something, right? Meditation. It doesn't have to be transcendental meditation. Just take 5 minutes and check in with yourself, see how you're doing. Close your eyes and say, "Oh, I have pain in my shoulder. Oh, I'm feeling anxious." Oh, just be aware of your mental health and take next steps to be able to manage your general well-being during these times, because I don't think our generation has never been exposed to this kind of stress, and
Yeah,
most people are
yeah.
not equipped to deal with the sudden change in routine and the stress and the fear that comes with it, right?
So, are your clients reaching out to you regarding this COVID-19? I'm sure, right?
Yes, it's mostly mothers that are concerned about their kids actually.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, like what do I do? What can we do? Can they travel? But that was before. Now, mostly what I'm doing is not as much nutrition as helping with helping people with mindfulness tools and like breathing exercises and sending people meditations, making sure people are hydrated because people even forget to drink water. They're so stressed.
Mm. So you talked about, the mental aspect of this whole thing. How important is that? Do you really put an emphasis on meditation and that part of it in your whole system that you
You
have
know,
for your clients?
I believe health it has to be a holistic approach. If you're only eating well, but you're not exercising and taking care of your internal world, you will never be completely or wholly healthy. It takes a combined approach to be actually be able to get to the best version of you. Meditation is it's one of my favorite things. I'm actually taking a certification to become a meditation teacher, so I'm a little bit biased, but it's a free tool. It's something that you can do any time of the day, and it will actually help you um, calm your internal world. It's so important right now for our inner chat to be kind and to be able to manage this enormous amount of pressure we're all feeling with the current circumstances and the uncertainty. I find the hardest part of it is how uncertain things are right now. Like we don't have a defined outlook of how things are going to end up looking at the end of all of this, right?
Yeah, that's the problem. It's not like maybe say a 9/11, right? It was an event. It happened. We can deal with it. We can
Mm-hmm.
look at steps to mitigate future terrorist attack. In this case, it's like ongoing. So we don't know when this thing is over, and we're hearing that it's going to be like the flu, where it comes back in waves, and so there's a lot of anxiety. I think that people are definitely dealing with, and as you stated, everything on TV is now revolving around coronavirus. You know,
Yes.
um, so it's very hard for you to get away from it, and maybe that's a good suggestion to kind of just turn off the TV, turn off the phone, and not look at that type of stuff. What are your thoughts about your intake as far as fluid? Do you think raw juices are good? Kind of talk about juicing a little bit.
Juicing is awesome. There are so many possibilities. You can do all kinds. Like you can always find a new vegetable to try. Possibilities are unlimited in like colors and everything. Um, Juicing, let me think. Usually, juicing is very good in the morning with an empty stomach. And you cannot tailor it on how you're feeling that day. If you feel like you're having some sort of like your digestion is slow, or for people that are usually very cold, adding a little bit of ginger in whichever juice you're making, it will balance it out from a Chinese medicine point of view. Um, and it's a question of trial and error. I find that mixing things and kind of seeing how they go together is one of the best ways to make the perfect juice, if you may. You can mix it if you have access to coconut water. You can, it's so much fun. It's like one of my favorite things to do. Usually my juices have like one green apple and celery as a base. And then you can add pineapple or whatever you happen to have at hand. It doesn't have to be very complicated.
My wife went on this celery kick, and we were drinking this celery juice. She would grind it up in her blender or whatever, and it actually ended up being pretty good. I
Hmm.
thought I wouldn't like it, but I was really digging it. But I think that celery craze got so big that we can't find celery much anymore. The way
The
we
same thing happened here.
Oh,
It went
okay.
like from
Yeah.
$3 to $6 for a bundle. I'm like, what's happening? Celery is a
Right,
hot
right.
commodity now.
Yeah, so what benefits do you see with the whole celery juicing thing? That was pretty good. I want to get back on that if we can find some.
Well, as far as I know, the celery is very good one at replenishing what you lost during the night because you know your body is working while you're sleeping. All those things have to happen. All those processes are going while you're sleeping. So you replenish all of the fluids and stuff you lost during the night. It is supposed to be very good to clean your liver. And it also has natural salts. So it will bring your potassium a little bit up, which is very
Gotcha.
good. It's supposed to have other mythical properties, but I cannot speak to those very much. I've tried it for a little while, and I did find that my spleen cleared up and my digestion was like faster after taking the celery juice.
Gotcha, gotcha. What about cancer? Cancer's a big one.
Ooh,
Yeah,
cancer.
yeah. What steps do you suggest people take to protect themselves from that bad disease?
It depends because there are very many kinds. There are some
Right.
of them that are related to certain vitamin deficiencies.
Mm,
According to the science, like breast cancer, for example, might have something to do with lack of vitamin B.
mm.
And then prostate cancer and things like that might have to do with lack of selenium. So be informed because sometimes it depends on where you're geographically located. Like if you
Right.
spend your whole life in one place, you are
Yeah.
likely to get produce from that place or nearing places, right?
Right.
And the soil might be depleted of a particular nutrient.
Right.
And sometimes it has to do with dietary habits. For example, coffee and black tea wash out most of the minerals and some of the B vitamins, for example, right? So for some
Mm.
people that are like heavy black tea drinkers and they have been their whole lives, they might be unknowingly washing out what they actually need. So nutrition is super important. Remaining alkaline, which means the opposite of acidic, which means you have a high intake of green vegetables and low intake of things that are acidic, like meats and other things. And believe it or not, there's something called a cancer personality. So not everybody develops cancer. It has something to do how you manage your emotions. People that hold grudges and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's such a complex phenomenon that it's better addressed in a case by case basis.
Interesting. Interesting. So alkaline. So do you promote like the whole pH 9 plus water and all of that stuff? Like,
No,
what's your okay? Tell
because you
tell us a
have
little
to
bit
be.
about
I
that.
think I think you have to be around 7. 9 would probably be too alkaline
Okay.
because you also have to take into consider it's a balance, right? Because you
Yeah.
also want to be able to digest. If you have alkaline water at the same time you're eating, you're affecting the level of your stomach acid, and you want to make sure you're able to digest at a proper speed, so your system is flowing the way it was intended to, right?
Understood. Yeah, that makes sense.
At this time, I think the most important for everyone is to remain kind, both to yourself and to others, not to lose the sense of community. Reach out to the people that you love, make contact with other humans. Be helpful. If you can lend your time, your energy, your knowledge to another human, please do that. Be aware that this will all pass. Everything in life comes in waves and then it's gone. I can tell you from my own experience. I hope it helps to inspire other people. There were times when I was lying in my bed and I thought I would never walk again. And here I am
Mm.
climbing up mountains and doing all kinds of
Wow.
crazy things. So please be mindful that this will all pass. Take the steps that you need to make sure you're all right. Eat as much as possible. Keep hydrated, get some fresh air, and take the steps to look after your own mental well being. It doesn't have to be meditation. If you like painting, paint. If you like drawing, draw. Take a class online. There are many resources available for classes. You wanted to learn how to program Python? Now's the time. You want to learn French? Take a class. So take it day by day. Chunking it is one of the coaching techniques that I like the most. It's just that you break a big, unattainable goal into smaller
Right.
uh, places, like parts, sorry.
Right.
So do that. And if you're feeling adventurous, try meditation. One thing that I can suggest for anybody, it would work for anybody who wants to prevent. You know what a stroke is? A stroke is similar to a heart attack. So it's like a big cramp. It means that it cramps, right?
Right.
And the
And you
best
lose
thing to prevent
oxygen.
cramping, it's magnesium. So
Oh, okay.
have 200 milligrams of magnesium in a full glass of water before going to bed. It's one of the best, simplest ways to make sure that your body has what it needs during sleep to prevent strokes and heart attacks.
Hmm. Interesting. Okay, I never heard that one. So definitely have to take that into
It will also help you
consideration.
sleep better. You know, all those people that have one eye that twitches,
Mm-hmm.
that's lack of magnesium. People that get like Charlie horses and restless legs and all of that.
Ah, I didn't know that. Didn't know
Mhm.
that. Okay. Cool. So definitely guys, if you want to get more information from Ellie, check her out, elliefabra.com. That's ELLIEFABRA.com.
I am available. I'm trying to help as many humans as possible. I know this is a particular time and we all need support during this time.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Well, again, guys, definitely reach out to Ellie if you need some help in your guidance on eating right and living healthy. I mean, that's the most important thing. Wealth is really health, you know. So if you're not healthy, you can't. What does it matter to have tons of money? I think it's very important. So again, appreciate you coming on today, guys. Definitely like, share, and subscribe. And click that bell to receive more videos like this. Thanks a lot, guys.